What are you doing?
Picking this lock, man. I lost my key.
Did you check to see if the door was open?
Shit. Hey guys, welcome to Gear Tasting. Today I'm going to start off with walking you through where we kind of left off last week. I had talked about the HSP G-code incog, and I had talked about wanting to get a mag clip so that I could remove the mag portion from the holster, which I had done last week, but I'm still debating on actually cutting that off with a Dremel. But what I did is I installed the mag clip that came. It arrived last week and I put it on there. I just want to talk a little bit about it. What I like is that now I'm able to separate the mag carrier from the incog body, which I like. I still carry both of these appendix, but I like the separation between these now. So I actually feel like it contours more to my body. It's a little, I don't know, just better for me, my preference, and really that's kind of what it is. So just, that's why I'm walking you through this. If it works for you, great. It works for me, so that's the deal. So the back of this right here actually has an adjustment. I wanted to point that out. So there's two small screws and you can actually angle this clip a little bit. So I angled it a little bit so it kicks off to my left side a little bit. So that's how I like it to ride. And then because the incog only has one clip, as you remember if you watched last week, this kind of kicks to the right. So both of these kind of kick outboard a little bit, and I find that that's more comfortable for me to carry, as well as kind of facilitates me bending over and things like that a little easier. So that's the IWB Mag Holder belt clip, I think is what that's called. So I think I got that right. All right, so moving on, another thing that I picked up, this was handed to me, who I'm guessing by the people from Hoptic. This was the low pro base plate. So what this is for my Glock 43, this replaces the factory or aftermarket base plate on a Glock magazine for the 43. And what this adds is a 7th round. So normally these are 6 rounds. So the 43 is 6+1, which means you can carry 6 in the magazine plus 1 in the pipe, so to speak. And this allows you to carry a 7th round in the magazine. So that would actually turn this into a 7+1, therefore allowing you to carry 8 rounds total in the Glock 43. So what I wanted to walk through is just the installation real quick of one of these, because it says that it should only be installed by a gunsmith or Glock armor, but it doesn't give you any instructions here. So I wanted to just walk you through it. Hopefully many of you that own a Glock are already familiar with how to remove a base plate, but I'm going to walk through it anyway. But before I do, I wanted to just kind of point out some things. So when I got the 43 and the way this comes, make sure this is clear. The way this comes is that you get one of these mag base plates, which it has a little lip on here for your pinky, or you can buy an aftermarket base plate, which I'll show in a second. But the second mag that the 43 comes with a flat base plate. So you get one of these and one of the flat ones, which I guess is better than 2 fat base plates. But I like the Pierce grip base plates better. So this is the PG43. And what this does is, I don't know if you can really see the difference, but I think that it contours my pinky a lot better. So I get an overall grip on the gun, at least with my hand size. Your mileage may vary, but just wanted to point that out. So while the Pierce base plate doesn't really have a ramp the Hoptic doesn't have a ramp like the Pierce does, I still like the ability to carry an extra round. So to me, that might be worth giving up that good landmark of the pinky to kind of carry an extra round. So let's go through putting this on. And I'm going to replace the magazine with the factory base plate rather than the one with the Pierce. So this will be my backup magazine with the Pierce base plate on it. So what you want to do is put this in a vise, or you can use vice grips or something like that. But there's a 2-step process. You have to squeeze the magazine body and then depress the button on the bottom. So there's a little magazine button, so to speak, on the bottom that lets remove the base plate. And I've just got a standard AR punch tool that I have. So you're going to put a little pressure on the base plate, depress this button, and then slide the cover off. And then once the cover is off, you kind of have to hold your finger here because the spring is going to want to fly up, and you don't want to lose this little piece here, which is the button that interacts with the base plate. So on the Hoptic, what they have is a metal piece like this that has a ramp on it. That goes down into the base plate once the spring is attached. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to set this into here. This is going to get pressed down. The base plate is going to, I'm going to angle this just a little bit. The base plate is going to slide on. And then one thing that I found is you have to come back, let off the pressure, and then kind of click that to get the spring to slide all the way back down. So now it's affixed. You just want to test it and make sure it's staying in one place. And now I will demonstrate with 7 rounds here to show you that it does take 7 now. So I like carrying DRT ammo as well, just because I got to see the terminal ballistics behind this and the effect. So there's 7 rounds. That's what the back looks like. It still shows that 6 are in there, but now 7 are loaded. So just to show you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's your 7 rounds. But at any rate, if you remember our hog hunt video that we had done with DRT, we kind of went on a hog hunt with them. I was really impressed with the wound cavity type stuff with DRT ammo. We shot ballistic gelatin, and I really liked not only what the 9mm did, but what the 5.56 rounds and 308 rounds did as well. So make sure you check that out. Okay, so moving on, let's get into something else. All right, guys, one more thing that I wanted to quickly mention, and I've talked about this before. When I came back from Mammoth, I mentioned that the Jetboil I had with the titanium cup fell apart. So this heat induction coil, I'm just gonna mess with this so you can see it. It actually broke apart there, you know, causing it to fail in my opinion, because now when I go to heat this again as a system, it just continues to melt that aluminum, therefore I'm not gonna keep using it. So I came to the conclusion on what caused this, and it was through a fault of my own, and I wanted to kind of repent my sins for what I did to the Jetboil. So I was reading through the frequently asked questions on Jetboil's website, and they don't manufacture the titanium cup anymore. What I bought it for was lightweight. They say in those frequently asked questions that you are not supposed to heat anything other than water in the TI cup. And the reason being is because what happens when this heats up is that if you have food in here, it causes it to get hotter. So as you can see, there's a big titanium heat mark on the bottom of this Jetboil, and it never used to be there until I screwed it up. So what happened is the morning I was rushing around and we were leaving the hotel room to get out onto the trail to start the Mammoth Sniper Challenge, I decided to save time and make oatmeal in the hotel room with the Jetboil. So rather than making oatmeal the usual way, which I do, which is I heat the water, I let it boil, and then I dump the oil, turn off the heat, dump the oatmeal in, and let it set, which, you know, basically swells the oatmeal and allows it to cook. So what I did is I was in such a rush and a panic to get out the door, I threw my water in, dumped the oatmeal in, then I turned on the stove. So what happened is that the oatmeal being in there along with the water caused it to heat to a higher temperature than it should have, which is why I got the mark, therefore, which is what melted the actual ribs on this thing. So this is aluminum, which has a lower melting point than titanium. So I feel like my logic is sound there. I think that's what happened, is that it caused that to superheat, thereby increasing the heat temperature or the tolerance that it could stand, and that's why it started to drip. And it did melt onto the stem as well right there. So I did contact Jetboil, and they were more than accommodating. They kind of hooked me up with a replacement, so I've got that on the way. But their customer service was great on that, and although that was my fault, I didn't really know it at the time. I reached out to customer service, so I didn't really tell them what I did at the time. I just told them what happened, and I kind of feel a little shitty about that. I'm probably going to reach back out and say, hey, by the way, this is what happened. But at any rate, that was my deal, not Jetboil. So didn't want you to think that that was a Jetboil problem. That was a me problem and doing the wrong thing in the Jetboil. So obviously they don't make the titanium anymore. I'm willing to bet that they probably had problems like this with other people, and they're probably like, yeah, hey, for the sake of customer service warranty issues, let's just stop making the titanium. I probably would have as a business owner. I'm just speculating though on that happening. So anyway, Jetboil. All right, let's get into some questions over coffee. Today, drinking something pretty strong. Was this like badass blend, Rob?
Horse, yeah.
Kicking horse. What? No, what's the kick-ass blend? Right. It's pretty dark. It's kind of kicking my ass. So anyway, that's what I'm drinking. The first question is from Chris on Twitter, who asks, "What's your preference on wallets?" So I have a few different ways I carry a wallet depending on how low pro I'm trying to go, meaning how much bulk I want in my pocket. So I guess on a regular basis, I lean more towards this small leather card wallet. It's kind of a mix between the Hypalon wallet that we make. So this is the ITS Hypalon concealment wallet, and I'll get into what that's got in it in a minute. But between that and this Belroy card sleeve, I think is what it's called. It's like a leather wallet, and it's got a little pull tab so your cards lift up. But what I like to do is I always carry lockpick stuff on me. In Texas and most other states, you need to check your local laws, but carrying lockpicks and locksmith tools are not considered illegal unless you're in the act of committing a crime. So therefore, that's when they become illegal to carry, is if you're trying to rob a house, then you have burglar tools on you. So that's when they're classified as that. Otherwise, perfectly legal to carry lockpicks on you. Just wanted to clear that up. But I usually carry lockpicks in some form or fashion on everything I have. So I'll either alternate with this. I typically keep a titanium entry card that we make. This is the ITS TI entry card. This has 2 sets of tools, so you get a duplicate set if you have to punch one of these out and actually use them. They are a little bit more difficult to use though than a standard lockpick set, so therefore I also keep a set of our titanium flats on the back of a card that I don't use anymore. So this is just a plastic card, and I use Gorilla Tape and as you can see, I just tape on the lockpicks on the back of the card. So it's kind of like an emergency usage for lockpicks. So that's what I carry with me on a somewhat regular basis too. And then this is one of our production wallets, which that's why it looks so clean, but I have one of these at home too that I carry. So what this is our ITS Hypalon concealment wallet. You've got card slots here, 2 on each side there, and then the interior holds cash, but the interior also lifts up with these 2 little hidden pockets, and you've got your entry toolkit right there. So this is our wallet entry kit that you see inside the wallet. It's got some shims, it's got a ceramic razor blade, a pick set, it's got some wire and Kevlar cordage inside of this. So that's what I like to have on me as well. I would prefer to have all of that stuff on me, so when I can carry a larger wallet, I do, and just because I get to carry a complete entry kit kind of in the wallet. So one thing I want to say with lockpicks and entry tools and escape and evasion type tools is that you really need to, our Hypalon concealment wallet borders on this. So basically you want to keep these tools on you so that if you had to use them in an illegal restraint situation to get yourself out, you would have access to them all over your body. So meaning that you would carry some Kevlar cordage in your sock, or you would carry a lockpick set in a small concealed pocket on the back of your waistband, or a handcuff key there too. So you always want to kind of separate the kit that you have so that you have access to it in an emergency situation if you're under an illegal restraint situation. But with the Hypalon concealment wallet, at least this is kind of a hidden in plain sight thing. This kind of looks like still the cash portion of a wallet. Those stitch lines could be the stitch lines that are in with the pocket, so it's a little more hidden in plain sight. Whereas something like this, which is the card sleeve that comes on our Bogota Pi entry tool set, that's very overt. I mean, you see that, you know you have lockpicks. At least if someone's going through your wallet, hopefully they wouldn't catch the fact that those were concealment pockets. And then again, if you had tools hidden on you, then hopefully they wouldn't find them as well. But you know, that's the nature of kind of the covert, overt nature of escape and evasion tools. And I just wanted to point that out because it is something to keep in mind. And I will carry this sometimes too in my pocket if I'm just carrying my ID and a credit card or something like that. This little card sleeve has a spot for a couple of cards and then some picks on the back. So this is the Bogota Pi tool set. And this is made out of titanium. It's got 4 different picks as well as a double-sided tension wrench, just like that. So that is hopefully answers your question on the wallet preference, Chris. Next question is from, seriously, Astro Vogue on Twitter, who asks, what's your favorite travel, flying, sailing watch? So whenever I travel, I like to church it up a little bit. I wear my Resco Black Frog that I have that the guys from Muster put together and got me, usually with a leather band or something like that. So try to class it up a little on the airplane. But if I was sailing and I was around the water, I would probably defer to my trusty G-Shock when I'm in any kind of maritime environment. That's what I use as a G-Shock. I don't really like automatic watches, especially one with a leather band. I wouldn't take that in the water anyway. But so hopefully that answers your question on that, Astro Vogue. Hey guys, thanks for watching Gear Tasting. Be sure to use the pound tag Gear Tasting on any social media network to get your question answered live on the show. And be sure, if you're enjoying Gear Tasting, that you consider joining our crew leader membership. It's our way of actually being able to give something back to you in return for your support. Details are below in the description. Thanks for watching.